Hey guys, yes, you read the title right. I just heard results back from my 6-month blood draw, and I am HIV negative. 6 months is how long it takes for your body to build up an antibody response so they can detect if you have it. Of course, just getting a positive on the test doesn't mean you have HIV. It's a rather broad range antibody test, and there are some non-HIV antibodies that react to the test. So if you get a positive, you have to run what's called a Western blot that uses much more specific and expensive antigens to detect the exact antibodies. Then and only then will they confirm you to have HIV. I will still get another HIV test at my VA checkup at the end of this year, just as a precaution, but I'm officially HIV free, so that's a great thing and a weight off my mind. So on to the bad news. I shared a chapter or two for review of my book, Why Do Intelligent People Still Believe in Religion, to people who have actually published books and the people who are experts in the particular field that my book discusses. And while they all said the facts look correct to them, they said, well, this is a really rough draft. I was a bit taken aback as I had revised that chapter nearly 20 times to make it more clean to read. I've kind of come to the conclusion that I'm a shitty writer. You want facts, logic, and creativity, then I'm your guy. You want something to read smoothly and isn't overwhelming, you'd best look somewhere else. It's probably why I only have a bit over 4,000 subs in 3 years. Matt Dillahunty watched my video on Dillahunty syndrome, which he rightfully said wasn't a syndrome, and I realized I should have considered it more of Dillahunty effect. He mentioned it on the nonprofits and said my explanation was long-winded. To a neurotypical, I'm guessing it probably was, and that's the key. As a person with Asperger's, I don't think I can write the way neurotypicals would enjoy, except for people who are used to more intense fact-based research. So if I want to produce my Intelligent People book, I will need a co-author to take what I've written and translate it into normal people speak, which means its publishing doesn't rely on how much I work on it, so it may take a year or two longer than I was originally planning at the end of this year. So, sorry, I'm just not capable of writing in a way that a publisher would want to publish, and considering how much work I put into this thing, I don't want to send it out something that would get rejected as soon as I sent it. This is actually not such a bad thing for me. It's allowed me to prioritize and decide what to do next. Other than a few more sources to cite, I've kind of done all I know how to do for the book that I was working on. It's also allowed me to realize why I stopped reading new fiction around the age of 16-ish. No one writes for Asperger's. There's bipolar lit like Poe and many, many other authors, and their psychological condition is credited for why they're considered such good authors. There's sociopathic lit, like Ayn Rand, but there's little in terms of literature by and for Asperger's. A Curious Incident of a Dog in the Nighttime was written not by somebody with Asperger's, but in the same mindset. It's actually a good book, but it's probably one of the few. It would explain why I consider the Silmarillion a piece of literary genius and most fall asleep while they're reading it. My girlfriend, who's also an aspiring writer, kind of laughs and tells me, no, that's backstory. It's something the author is supposed to see and no one else. But backstory and details is what I love. I find most fiction to start to run together and sound the same because of lack of detail. Yeah, character development is good if done right, but I want nitty-gritty facts. I hunger for them. However, the literary community would consider that book pretty crappy. Interpersonal relationships I like, but I want detail. Probably why I prefer manga, some BBC, and anime. They have much more detail and much less emotion than American shows. They have elements of regular literature, but that's more on the surface, and the details richen the story to me. So I think what I'll do is I secure and decide on a co-author. My girlfriend may be the one, but she's got her own story she's working on and is starting classes again, so who knows, is to work on books by and for Asperger's. I have one book I'm working on called When the Whole Truth Seems a Lie to help Asperger's understand some of the basic complex details of communication with neurotypicals and how much too much truth, facts, and the nuance of the way you said something, you might as well have just told the complete lie as they don't believe you. I will probably send the books to a few of my Asperger's friends and let them review it, and maybe sell it on Lulu or Amazon in ebook format, as my target market is probably way too small for print. I also may get in with a fiction writing group next year and work on some fiction for Asperger's I've worked on about future tech. It would probably overwhelm the average person, but I look back on my old work and I think, this is a brilliant piece of writing! Why can't more people write like this? And I've realized it's because for a neurotypical, it's too much detail and information, and to them it's a piece of crap. So yes, in a long-winded way, good news, no HIV. Bad news, sadly, no book this winter. Sorry to disappoint, but I have a feeling you would prefer a book more people can read and enjoy than technical writers and Asperger's. Thanks for all of your support in both endeavors. I hope to continue providing detail-intense content for the few thousand of you that like my work.